Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be on the Earth ship. Welcome to my little idea of a series of podcasts that systematically teach you how to be the alchemist of your own life. I am Cindy Carter. I'm an intuitive, an artist, an energy healer, and a spirit consultant. This series of alchemy podcasts that I put together is a progressive building of information. And it really does allow you to see your role as a master alchemist, as the director of your life, the life that you witness of yourself. You're in control as a sovereign being on this earth, and this is your weekly reminder of that. So last podcast, we talked of universal declarations and the importance of claiming your right to life and your right to all incarnations of your soul. So we talked of soul retrieval and of retrieving the many versions of ourselves and allowing the most benevolent and kind to work through us. This also goes with what we witness in other people in their soul retrievals. It's, bringing out the grand purge. I told you a lot about the grand purge. I call it that because right now across this earth, we're all purging. We're like purging our Akashic records. It's big detox time. It's good stuff, really. But there's something that helps us right now. Something that would really help make this a little smoother travel, I feel. Especially when we're all declaring our sovereignty and standing in our power, becoming aware of all the untruths, all the false beliefs. I think right now we need discernment. Wow, yes, please, more. Everyone needs some more discernment. And no one is excluded in this. Not even myself. I feel I need to be discerning. I have been deceived on many levels, but it was also of my own making, I feel. You see, deception is partly our own making. Our unawareness is sometimes there as a tool to get us to awareness. Sometimes that's grace. Sometimes that's compassion. So in, you being the alchemist, no matter what it is that you're seeing or witnessing or focusing on, to move your focus and your awareness to the upliftment of the body and the mind. That's what we're trying to do. That helps you, makes it more comfortable on earth. That's kind of what we do as an alchemist. We focus on the awareness of the upliftment of the energy. So with soul retrieval, and allowing the consciousness of many lives, you ought to have a healthy dose of discernment. So it brings us to the subject of the awakening of the gift of discernment within you. This is the gift of spirit. It's the gift of alignment. You see, discernment of your truth, discernment of your voice, of your diverse expression, discernment of your life's path, of your life's experiences, being discerning of the energy you're putting out there on the earth. What energy are you rocking in your body, in your mind? What thoughts are you bringing? What energy are you really putting out there for you to wade through and others? This is about personal discernment. What comes from me? You might start witnessing what comes from you. You might be surprised. And then utilizing the gift of discernment. This is harmony for a body and for your mind, especially during these intense soul retrieval kind of days that we're going through. Some kind of weird place in time where we're, doing the cycle and the cycle and the cycle, but there's an end to this cycle, like a little curve to it, where we're slinging off all this discordant energy, all the dark filaments of light that no longer really serve us, the beliefs and ideas, patterns. So we need discernment. Firstly, we need personal discernment. This isn't about discerning everything around you. It's really mostly about discerning what is happening in and within your mind, within your thought pattern, not what's happening around you. But we'll talk about that too. But this is about discernment of your intentions and discernment of your thoughts and redirecting your intentions and redirecting your thoughts if this is something that's needed, if this is something that's warranted. You see, there's outside influence discernment too, of, not what comes from you, but what comes to you. We right now have to be pretty aware of what's coming to us, because it is like a bombardment of energy. A bombardment of Wi-Fi and EMFs and thought patterns and psychic attacks and hatred and division, mind control, toxins. So we have to be mindful of the outside influence, not hide from them. The alchemist understands how to stand, strong, stand tall in discernment that creates an energy field in the body and the cellular structure that doesn't get affected by the influence or outside influence or perception of influence. That's a higher teaching when we go to perceptions. Everybody wants the concrete 3D stuff. Here, how do you do it? 1, 2, 3. I can't teach people 1, 2, 3. I teach quantumly. I'm going to give you ins and outs and ways and around, and you take in whatever you take in. I'm teaching myself through this process. You just happen to be here with me. That's all anyone's trying to do. Personal discernment of our intentions. Outside influence discernment, what comes to you. So, discernment of what influences are affecting you. That's something we need to look at. So you see, some influences are really slow and steady, and you don't really realize it's happening, like subliminal advertising, subliminal, voice. That's been happening in the recording industry. Part of the manipulation of the, hearing and sensing mind. Some are so slow you can't hear them or see them. Some are deeply energetic, like deeply embedded in your cells. Some are deep-held consciousness patterns. Some are ancestral influences. These influences go deep. Whether you know about them or you don't know about them, you better be aware of the energy that kind of surrounds you and what's within you, what you're capable of. This is part of the discernment. Open your eyes, open your ears, open your feeling nature, your quantum tuning device, your adaptation processing unit, whatever you want to call this. Turn them all on. All hands on deck, all eyes to the sky. It's high alert season on Earth right now for discernment. So how do we begin to discern? And how do we awaken the gift of discernment? First of all, you might want to desire that. It's not going to just gift yourself with it if you don't desire it. Some people are just greedy and just want stuff, but you have to desire this. Desiring this gift of discernment is a lot like just desiring to know God, know the God inside you, know the Christ consciousness, know the Buddha, know the Great Spirit. Being curious about your spiritual realm and wanting to not be affected by, demonic, vampiric matrices or situations or people. These type of events often lead us to discernment, but you may want a deeper connection to spirit and a deeper connection to the inner knowing of your ancientness of yourself. Well, this deep connection is part of the awakening of the gift of discernment. This desire for discernment. That's one way. And then another one is like loving the presence of spirit inside you, or having a heightened awareness of spirit working with you. This love of the connection, you loving the synchronicities and the interactions and the visions and premonitions. The love of the spirit, the love of the alignment with the universe. This love of yourself brings a love of your spirit. And it's a deep felt, heartfelt love. And it's the key to discernment. When you can love yourself and love all beings no matter what they're going through, this is the presence of loving the essence of you and the essence of life. This is part of discernment. Opening yourself to the love of the heightened awareness of spirit working with you. And then, of course, there's the senses. You got to attune your senses to become aware on all kinds of levels. This is spiritual sensitivity. Not oversensitivity. I'm not talking about that. And I have clients that come to me right and left because they think they're empaths. Well, they can be empaths. They can be high empaths. But they think that's their excuse for being overly sensitive. When in fact it's their choice to witness or not witness, to observe or not observe, to take in or not take in. But this is, being the observer, the healthy observer, the compassionate witness, with the senses attuning to all the quantum levels of interaction, all the energy involvement, how you feel and view yourself in your attunement of your own senses is quite important, and it's like an integration of your heightened senses. But let's not add the doubt frequency to this mix. That's not part of what we want when we're attuning to our senses. We need to trust. This is a powerful place where the gut, the intuition of the many lives that we've merged into this life, when we bring our heart and our mind together, this is the gift of discernment. And often when we're seeking discernment, either through a not-so-nice life event or just through the natural process of our heightened awareness to natural life, we sometimes find ourselves in uncommon and really out-of-the-box experiences, otherworldly events. It's crazy time. A lot of people are telling me of their crazy quantum fields. They're not understanding or putting it all together. But they're trying to discern. And you know what? The quantum fields really don't care if your spiritual epiphany comes in time to make cupcakes for your kids' class. The quantum fields don't really care about time. It's quantum. So you go with the quantum time. You go with the discernment and you put the cupcakes off. It'll happen. It's about allowing the discernment to build and its belief to pace itself, even if it's unpredictable, to let it guide you in situations that you may think how you've lost your mind. I assure you, you may be gathering your mind and not even realize it. That sneaky little subconscious mind of ours. To see through the mask, that you're putting out with your senses. So let's take your mask away so you can see yourself fully and see others fully. Ooh, that opens up a big can of worms. A lot of people don't want to bring off their masks. They got some nice rose-colored glasses on. Because, the love and light movement does, ask you to put on rose-colored glasses because you're not supposed to look at the darkness. We're not supposed to even witness it or deal with it or embrace it, especially not be compassionate to it. But in this work, as an alchemist, we work with all energy, every bit of it. We bring compassion to all of it. This is part of becoming an uplifting, sovereign light on an earth where you can bring Christ consciousness into your mind and into your body to see through the mask that you present. It's an act of awakening discernment to finally see the intentions of yourself and the intentions of others. It's freedom, really. It's not a terrible thing to me to see someone's darkness. It's a gift of discernment to witness this veiled portion of themselves that they don't even know about. And no, it's not my place to awaken them or to convince them of their misalignment. It's for me to say, okay, hi, I see you. Really, that's all energy wants, is to be seen, acknowledged. I'm in witness of your process here on earth. I wish you compassion. Well, doesn't that diffuse the need to tell somebody off because they have an opinion of you that's incorrect? Or they are hating on you? You see, I've been involved in this one actively really strong thing lately on my YouTube channel. I have a video interview with my friend David Lear where I talk of my experience with SASQUATCH. And it was something that happened in 2015. Quite an amazing experience, really. And I, have put it out there reluctantly because of how people react. So I've gotten really aware here. The ability to be discerning. So many views have come to this video. There's new subscribers everywhere. I guess because the story is so out there, but it is believable. It's a quite interesting video. If you'd like to look at it, just find it on my page. Maybe I'll put it in the link of this video here. But to sum it up, it was me helping a family that had SASQUATCH experience. But what's happened is all the comments that are coming on the site are from all kinds of sources that are opposing to mine. But I'm overwhelmed with the positive comments. But, there are a healthy chunk of, what I consider kind of crazy comments. I look at them quite lightly, and they're quite fun, but they are opposing to mine. They question me on my details and things like that. Like, why didn't I get that right? And why did I repeat that word? And why didn't I say this? And what are you talking about? But I am deleting, the mean-spirited, the ones that are directed, straight to me personally. I'm going to go ahead and, take those comments out. So I have been having kind of fun taking those out. They're a laugh to me because I know what my experience was. It's a non-wavering experience. It's solid to me. So any offhanded remarks by mostly religious Bible thumper people, that's what seems to be coming. They tell me I'm kind of a witch that plays with demons. And they believe that SASQUATCH are demons, which my experience is the exact opposite, that they are sentient, benevolent life force. They're human. They also have the idea that SASQUATCH and Bigfoot are responsible for all the missing people. This is what they're spouting all over my YouTube interview. So I've been quite amazed. This is where I've had to be discerning with my information that I'm getting from the SASQUATCH Nation. And I have to believe this is a campaign from some black government operation to send blame to these human ancestors of ours known as SASQUATCH. You see, discernment. To see their idea, but let it bring no charge to me. I have no reason to make them believe otherwise, other than me stating my truth to them kindly. You see, kindness and compassion and understanding are keys to discernment. You can't bully your way through discernment. If you do, you might get a name on many planets, like a serious a-hole. That was a joke. I digress. So I have to daily now, with each comment on my video, discern if they are unknowing, innocent beings looking for their truth. Are they AI bots? Are they implanted from 3-letter agencies? There's a lot of those. Or are they just very mind-controlled people? It's kind of a fun exercise for me, though. How intuitive can I be today? Haters don't have to have an effect on you unless you choose otherwise. So, someone with a gift of discernment has the ability to see behind what a person is saying, what they feel as energy behind it. You might even know whether they're telling the truth. This is extreme discernment, sensitivity to energy. You may also recognize if somebody is manifesting a demonic spirit within themselves, a shadow aspect of themselves, and really be able to identify what's going on there. You have to have, discernment of the messages that are coming to you. This is a big one right now. And I get asked every week at least once, will I bring messages from relatives on the other side? And my answer is a discerning no. That may play a role in someone's progression, but not in mine. If you want to talk to your dead relative, you do so. They're right there with you. It's about consciousness. It doesn't take me to do it. It's none of my business anyway. So this is about discernment, discerning the intentions of others. And then, being the observer. Wow, that's a big one when you're having to be discerning. To be sensitive and observing, you've got to be really grounded and solid in your foundation, allowing your heart to drive the bus and not your mind. This is about truth and trusting yourself. Discernment, might come as a gut feeling. When you get that gut feeling, that's discernment. It might come as an intuitive download, or the hair on the back of your neck might stand up, or you might get goosebumps everywhere. This is again about the desire to be in alignment with your spirit and your heart, and the cumulative sum of all the lives you've led right here, being discerning. All these things can bring you to being a really keen observer, being sensitive and discerning. It's a beautiful act of discernment to be witness to people's truths and not be affected by it, not to absorb other people's truths or their ways or their beliefs. It's so easily done right now, to take on other people's stuff. Vampiric activities, the acts of stealing another's energy, overriding another's energy field. It happens among close friends and family and coworkers. Watch where someone takes energy for themselves and depletes another person. Watch the subtle ways it happens. Then be really compassionate with what you see. Be kind with it and the people involved. They probably do not even realize the energy-stealing ways, the downward spiraling that happens. They probably grew up doing it. Like getting super nice people to give and give and give, leaving, those people depleted. Well, this is discernment while bringing you straight to self-awareness by observing it, being aware of it, and now to be compassionate while you simply alter your behavior by saying, no, thank you, by not going to that place that this happens at, in your mind or physically. Like I always say, even if this is in your mind, you mark a big X, and then you move as far away from that X as you can. This is compassion for yourself. So say no to the energy stealers. It's not your job to save them from themselves. Be compassionate to you while in your discernment. So there's another issue, and it's, about being judgmental while being discerning. While you're witnessing and observing everything around you and kind of classifying it and deciding what you want and what you don't. Oh, here we are. Well, everything comes at us every day and all day long. Why should we judge it? Why should we classify it? It's so much energy wasting. It's just easy enough to remove yourself from it. Remove your thought from it. But how do you witness the demons of other people and not be affected by it and not have judgment for it? Sometimes it's an easy one. Just choose not to. Choose not to judge. It's easy, silly. Really, when you find your mind making a judgment, a statement of fact about that reality that you see, just check yourself. Am I judging another person right now? Am I judging the space? Am I judging this idea? Where did that come from? I don't need it. Even if they oppose you or hate you or despise the ground you walk on, or they think you can fly on a broom, my compassion to them and to myself is to see it like for what it is. Hurt people hurt people. I've worked with so many clients now that have no idea how they hurt other people through living out their repeated past traumas, repeating embedded thoughts and beliefs of other people and other structures, other, programs. You see, when we become sovereign and the alchemist of the life you lead, you get to work with judgment day by day and moment by moment. The urge to judge, to ridicule, or put in a box the idea of another person, I choose not to do that. Do I find myself doing it sometimes? Sure, I'm in a body. But I remind myself when my thoughts go there. This is alchemy, in the moment alchemy. But remember, judgment is also held for ourselves. A lot of my clients sure do judge themselves really harshly. So who gifted you that idea? So you're going to judge yourself because you judged yourself? God, what an endless cycle. Forgiveness. Let's just go into forgiveness of all judgment. Forgiveness of the triggering. Forgiveness of what you see. Forgiveness of yourself in all dimensions and in all places, no matter where you might live. It's one way to free yourself of judgment and to step into discernment. Forgiveness is what a soul would want, I feel. You see, discernment is not cruel. It doesn't abuse others or bring disharmony. Discernment is the equalizer of the environment. It harmonizes all involved by detaching and allowing all at the same time. It's a beautiful display of heightened awareness to be discerning of your own truth and the truth of others. There is something I've developed that would jumpstart your discernment. I mention it every week, and I'm going to continue to mention it because it's very strong, and it does work for a lot of people that have given me feedback about it. If you want to accelerate your awareness by concentrating and focusing on yourself for 11 days, there's something on my website for you that you could look at. It's called The Template of Grace. It's an audio series, like an 11-day meditation series. It's 15-minute sessions with some really lovely Tibetan bowls in the background. It's a high understanding of how the cells take on new information. And it activates, grace into your life. It would certainly accelerate discernment as you become more powerful and peaceful. It's a very relaxing meditation. Eyes closed, earbuds in. It will take you away. 11 days. It's all you need. I also have a free ebook where I touch on all the aspects of soul retrieval, of discernment, of sovereignty through transmissions and poetry. It's called Solene, the Ancient One, and it's also on my website as a free ebook. I will be speaking out more about SASQUATCH, as I'm hearing almost daily now, from so many people about all the benevolent interactions that they're having all over the world. So I've put together a Patreon account where I'll be sharing a lot of my SASQUATCH stories, the videos, and things like that, special projects that I'm going to work on. They'll all be there on Patreon. So thanks for finding me there. It's an important time for all of us right now to come into alignment with our spirit, to align with our truth, and to be the sovereign beings we know that we could and can be. So let us discern our movements on the earth. Let us discern the movements of other people and of other groups. Perhaps you have spirit telling you another story than the story that you're seeing displayed by other people. This is the bright light of spirit activating in a body. This is discernment. So enjoy it. Many blessings.